Welcome back to part 3 of reviewing people's lists that are bad. I'm going to go straight in here with Ficini's list. He's playing Imperium. Ficini is a good player. I know he is. I believe he's playing Sisters Guard and... oh, it's just Sisters and Guard? He's changed it from the last time I saw it. It was Sisters... Or it was Guard and Raven Guard, I think, together. But he's changed it to just Sisters and Guard. So he's got the Bloody Rose detachment of 3 Repentia, 3 Rhinos for the guaranteed charges out of either Deep Strike or coming out of the Rhinos. Either is acceptable. And they basically just provide a beat stick that will kill anything it touches. So counter charge. Sing and Rhinos are extremely hard to kill in places that are hard to take them out of. And then to back that up, he's got a couple of patrol detachments, I think. Oh god, I hate the battlescribe layout. It's so hard to read. Yeah, it looks like something like that. So we got gunnery experts and spar details. Spar details, can't really remember what that is. But gunnery experts is the reroll 1 dice for random weapons, which helps out with the Manticores. So he's got 2 tank commanders, which will obviously be ordering themselves, and then infantry squad just to fill out the detachment, and then 2 Manticores, both with full payload. And the full payload is obviously there to make it flat 3 damage, which is good against Gravis. AP2 isn't the best, but like with the rerolling number of shots, you should have enough volume of shots to get through there. And you can basically just kill a squad of Gravis a turn, and if you're lucky, you can kill like a squad of Blade Guard a turn easily with 2 Manticores. And like that doesn't sound too great for 300 points of artillery, but it's good enough. It really is just good enough. And Marines hate it when they start losing their objective holders. Like they're so tight on points, they'll keep like 1 or 2 squads in their home field objectives. If you just start killing them, then they sort of lose all their momentum. And then we've got another battalion of disciplined shooters and wilderness survivors with... Wait a minute. So his warlords... Okay, so yeah, his warlord's here, but he forgoes his warlord trait to take 2 tank cases there. I didn't think that's how it worked, but obviously it is. And also these are demolisher tanks, so they're short range, but they're really, really good at killing Primaris bodies. So like super good. He's got Kotiaz as an Inquisitor attachment. I don't know if that's the best thing. I mean, he's got the 5-up invulnerable power, but I mean, I guess giving a 5-up invulnerable to 30 conscripts is kind of funny. That's the only thing I think it could be used for. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's for. And then 2 company commanders just to fill it out. Super cheap. Conscripts to give a 5-up invulnerable, I presume. A couple of infantry squads, an astropath, and 2 command squads. And oh god, does this interaction still work? Psychic barrier. Does that give a +1 to his invulnerable save as well? So he could have a 5-up on the conscripts, take it down to a 4-up. Or does that not work? But I know the take cover stratagem still works, question mark. So he can conscripts with a 5-up and then take cover to give him a 4-up invuln. And that makes 30 conscripts pretty hard to kill, to be honest. Still think you have a lot of trouble with morale. So you basically have to spend that 2 CP to auto-pass morale at least once. I mean, you can only use it once per game now. But you're like guaranteeing you have to spend that 2 CP at some point. And then after that, you have to like do the morale things that Guard has. And then 2 command squad of plasma guns just to back up. I kind of like the list. I think I liked it more when it was Raven Guard. The Repentia are just as easy to kill as the rest of the Guard stuff. Whereas the Raven Guard stuff like provided something that was really fast, got in your face, and it was also Primaris bodies, so a bit harder to kill. I kind of liked it more. But that is Ficini's list. Going on to Frosty Tal with Custodes. Trajan Valorous, Dorniel Jetbike with Unstoppable Destroyer. Sagittariums, Quillons, Vexil's Praetor with Magnifica, so the -1 to hit banner. And then a bunch of Antari, a bunch of bikes, Talaman, and then Sisters of Silence. He's got 2 squads of prosecutors, and a rhino. I wonder why people started taking sisters. Is there any reason other than psychic shenanigans? And I didn't think it was like psychic stuff was that. I mean, I guess they're kind of good action monkeys as well, aren't they? Because you can just outflank one for 1 CP and dump it in the deployment zone to do scramblers. And that's something that Custodies kind of lack because all their units are so important. Like, you can't really have any of your units being an action monkey. So having the Sisters of Silence is kind of good for that. But yeah, it's like your standard Custodes list. It's Shadow Keepers. It's got all defensive buffs and it's got a lot of things that are hard to kill. It's not that interesting, but it's not that bad. Another Terran list, we got Kronos, which is the 6-up Invulnerable Feel No Pain. 2 Hive Tyrants, Neurothrope Swarm. Is this a brigade? It sure is. Another brigade. So a couple of Hive Tyrants, Neurothrope Warlord. Symbiote Storm, obviously on the Neurothrope with the Resonance Bar to make sure it goes off. Everything else on the Hive Tyrants, I kind of find that if the Hive Tyrants don't get their powers off through whatever means, denies or whatever, then the army can just kind of fall apart. Because Onslaught is so powerful. And Catalyst as well, so powerful. Yeah, so the Swarm Lord is the guy that throws people. And the Hive Tyrant is the guy with wings. I got it now, I know. A couple of Ripper Swarms, 3 squads of 10 Termagants, 6 Hive Guard, a Lictor to do the actions, 3 Venom Throats. Venom Throats have the -1 to hit aura? Question mark? 3 squads of Spore Mines, Biovores, Excrement. Just one single Biovore, Excrements, and basically just have the Spore Mines as blockers. They're really slow, and I don't really like actually spending points on them, even though it's only 30 points, and they don't give up VP, and they can't score VP. I just don't think they're that great. They're very easy to kill. But yeah. It's a NIDS list. I think probably should have gone more all in on the bodies, because this is only 40 Termagants and a couple of Ripper Swarms that really are the things holding objectives, and everything else is like vulnerable to getting charged and locked down. Like especially the Hive Guard, 6 Hive Guard are really vulnerable to getting touched, and so many armies are just able to run across the board really quickly right now. We got Jen Wilhelm with Chaos Demons. He's playing like the Bash, not the Bash Brothers, but like the Bash Demons. So he's got Keeper of Secrets, which is going to be Exalted, and he's doing the random because he's crazy. He's got Smite, Symphony of Pain, Heretical Frenzy, Forbidden Gem, which is that super cool relic that stops a character doing any actions in any phase or something like that. It's crazy. Like if Smash Captain charges you, Forbidden Gem the guy and he can't do anything. 9 Demonettes to hold the backfield objective, and a super heavy of the Lord of Change named character. That's another named character, I think. Is this the Great and Clean one? Could be. And then this is another. That's the not Lord of Change, the other one. That's the Slaneshi one, Lord of War, because they all have their own like named Lord of War. Oh, this could be the Corn one actually. I can't really remember, and I'm never gonna look it up. Yeah, I can't see it doing very well, apart from like maybe against people who aren't prepared for this sort of thing. But it's a funny list. Glacier Laser playing Soratas. He's doing Bloody Rose, just like everyone should be doing. Germany Superior, because why not? If you've got extra points and it's a good action monkey. Inquisitor. Such a weird thing to take. Like, why bother? Because I think for Sisters, you don't need the denies, because everything in your army has the ability to be a vector for deny stratagems and stuff, so I don't get the point of taking Inquisitor. It's got Canoness, Celestine, the Tribes of Catherine, which I really like. It's a really cool model in this day and age, and it can be obscured as well, so it's super fun. 3 Squads of Sisters, with Call Me Melta in one, and the other ones are just normal. Celestine Squad. God, it's so like messy. So 2 Melta Guns, an Inferno Pistol, Simulacrum Imperialis. I don't know what that does actually. Is that the heal thing or something? Magic Fire with Tail of Stoic and Tail of Warrior. So ignore AP1 and +1 attack, +1 strength, something like that. Preacher. Why? I don't. What's the Preacher do? Oh, I'm so tempted to look it up, but I'm not going to. 2 squads of Repentia, Zephyrim squad, 1 Dominion squad, 1 Seraphim squad, and then in the heavy sport we got what everyone seems to be taking, 2 Retributor squads and multi-meltas. And only 2 Rhinos, and those are for the Repentia. Or maybe one's for the Repentia and one's for the Retributors, and then he has the other Repentia squad in Outflank or Deep Strike. That's how I would play it. Because Retributors with no way to move fast or disembark and then move for the extra range, it's kind of dumb. Yeah, it's just your standard Sisters list that I think everyone's going to be seeing a lot of it. I don't necessarily agree with taking that many multi-meltas in a list. I don't think you need it. I've got this next guy. His name is Glurg. He's playing, well, it's me. So I'm playing Chaos List. It's a TJ Lanigan Chaos List that he won a GT recently with. So he's got I've got Cult of Mutation, Thousand Suns Patrol, with Aramin, Demon Prince Tzeentch, and Chaos Cultists. And the reason I've taken Cult of Mutation and not like Cult of Manipulation or the Cult of Magic is for the power. It's called Warp Reality, and basically what the power does is you select terrain piece within 18 inches, which gets extended to 24 inches because you are Thousand Suns, and you select that terrain piece, and then you select any enemy unit within 3 inches of that terrain piece, and then they half their movement and they get -1 to advance. So you can slow down, and terrain pieces are so big nowadays, you can just slow down an enemy unit like nothing on earth. Really massive amount of slowdown you can do. Like, consider something like, let's say Vanguard Vets, hiding behind a wall, getting ready to charge out at you. So you use Warp Reality, and now they're down to a 6-inch move, -1 to advance. And I think it's -1 to charge as well. Going from 12, an average, like for White Scars, they're going to advance and charge every turn against you, right? So they go from an average, like, 16-inch move down to 7-inch, which is huge, massive. Basically hamstrings that kind of unit that wants to be a midfield bully unit against you. But unfortunately, only the Demon Prince can use that power, because Aramin doesn't get access to it. So only the Demon Prince has access to that power. So a lot of the games where you're wanting to cast an extra power with 1 CP stratagem, it's going to be going on the Demon Prince to do that power. And then 10 Chaos Cultists just to fill out the detachment. They're really good at holding the backfield because no one wants to shoot Chaos Cultists when they have everything else in this army to shoot at. Then we have the Chaos... Actually, we'll skip the Chaos Demons and we'll do Magnus next. Magnus is there because people are not taking last cannons anymore. They're taking multi-meltas. And Magnus is really, really easy to screen against multi-meltas. Even the ones that go really fast, you've got so much ability to screen against them. And if you actually work out the math on multi-meltas, say an Eradicator squad, you're going to have Weaver of Fates on Magnus, and because it's on Aramin, and you're going to have Glamour on Magnus as well, because they're both on Aramin, they're both +1 to cast. They're going off. There's no way with your Gaze of Fate reroll, there's no way they're not going off. So that's Magnus with a 3-up invuln, -1 to hit. So if you have 5 Eradicators with 10 melt shots, or even say, let's go extremes here. Let's say there's 21 Harley fusion pistols shooting at you. That's 20, or 20, we'll just say 20 to round it out. So 20 shots, hitting on 4s, goes down to 10 hits. And then they're wounding on 3s, so that's going to be 6 to 7 wounds. And then you're saving on 3s, which means it's going to be like 2 to 3 failed saves, which you can reroll 1 to make it 2 to 1 failed save. And then maximum damage they're doing off of that is like 6 damage or 8 damage if they're in melter range, which is really incredibly hard to do against this list because you're getting screened out by other things. And then at in your next turn, because Magnus won't die in one phase, you heal Magnus 2d3 and he doesn't die. And then they've had to commit so much to do so little damage, you just wipe all those 20 fusion pistols off the face of the planet with your smites and your charging and your shooting. So that's why Magnus is actually quite good now. So let's go, and I've got 50 reinforcement points for what you'll see up here. So we've got a Demoness attachment, it's undivided. It's Changecaster with Flickering Flames to give +1 to wound to the horrors down here. And Gaze of Fate for the Gaze of Fate reroll. You can only cast one of these, so on turns you don't need the +1 to wound, you just use Gaze of Fate. And then the turns where you do need it, you use Flickering Flames. Or you spend a CP to cast an extra one, because there's 2 separate 1 CP stratagems you can use to cast an extra power. Lord of Change with Bolt of Change, super powerful spell that. Boon of Change, which is a good way to buff Magnus up to T8, or Lord of Change T8, or the Horrors to Strength 5, or T5. He's Exalted Lord of Change. I'm rolling for my 2 traits, because all the traits are good, and you don't really need any specific one. Incorporeal Form to get 4 up invulnerable, Impossible Robe to get 3 up invulnerable, and Treason of Tzeentch for taking control of enemy characters that get too close. So all in all, this guy's gonna have like a 6 up no pain, a 3 up invulnerable. It's just crazy the amount of, he's like almost unkillable. And then changing with Gaze of Fate, just if I want to use Flickering Flames, I can use Gaze of Fate, but this guy's also just there to have someone that can do Psychic Ritual every turn without impacting on my army's ability to use psychic powers. Then we got Horrors with Demonic Icon, 29 Pink Horrors and 1 Iridescent, and then Nurgling, the requisite 20 Nurglings to sit on your objectives and be annoying. Because do you really want to kill Nurglings while you have Magnus throwing out D6 smites at you every turn? No, probably not. So I like the list, it's really fun to play, and it really throws people off. Another Chaos Demons list by Golden Master. Looks like we've got Chaos Demons here, we've got the Contorted Epitome, Keeper of Secrets, Shalaxi Hellbane. So this is the, like, the more Slaaneshi list. 3 squads of 3 Nurglings, and then we've got another Chaos Demons battalion with 2 more Keeper of Secrets and Selesky. This is the Mark Perry list, I think, or very similar to the Mark Perry list. But he didn't have any Nurglings, he had big squads of Demonettes. Selesky, and then we've got Fiends and Fiends. I kind of like it, but I think Mark Perry said that he doesn't need to have 3 Keepers of Secrets and the named Keeper of Secrets, or like the Contorted Epitome. It's like a kind of character overkill at that point. You can get away with having 2 Keeper of Secrets, Selesky and Shalaxi, and save all these other points for more Demonettes, Furies, and Fiends. Because they're what's going to be like pushing your opponent's chaff away, so your keepers can charge the juicy stuff. And I kind of agree with him. I watched a match with him versus Richard Siegler's Blood Angels, and that's exactly what happened. The Demonettes on turn 3, along with Furies, were just able to like clean a swathe through Sanguinary Guard and Vanguard Vets and Inceptors, and it allowed the keepers to just go after the characters and obliterate them. But I like this list. I kind of like this list. I like how Slaaneshi lists have kind of come into their own, and they're doing really well now. So we got Greyphobia with Salamanders. Just bog standard Salamanders, extra relic, Captain on Bike, I believe that is the unkillable bike captain. I don't know how unkillable he is now because everyone's stacking mortal wounds. Primaris lieutenant and a Primaris librarian with flaming blast, psychic fortress. Can he take that? I don't think he can take from 2 separate disciplines, right? I could be wrong. That could have changed. 3 heavy intercessor squads, all with executors because they are pretty good right now. Aggressors with flamestorms because they're good for salamanders. Primaris apothecary because everyone's taking them now. Vanguard vets with thunderhammers. I don't get the thunderhammers on the Vanguard vets. Like, the power fists are cheaper and better in my opinion, and also the lightning claws are even cheaper and even better, especially when you can give them veterans for +1 to wound. You don't really need a thunderhammer at that point. 2 attack bite squads, multi-beltas, an invader ADV squad with multi-meltas, and then eradicators at the ass. So it's just like a load of multi-meltas. This list could really do with, like, this is all anti-tank, and then he's got like 3 aggressors to try and deal with not anti-tank. Do you think he's maybe like role-playing Legion of the Damned? It seems like it. But yeah, this is way too many multi-meltas. Or meltas in general. People have gone crazy. You need to rein it in, bud. Rein in the multi-meltas. Gwynbleed with Imperium. Playing Custodes. He's got the... See, like the first episode, no one had this. Now everyone's got it. I must have changed their lists after I said it. Captain Alaris. Captain Dawn Eagle. No troops. He's just got a small squad of Alaris. I presume this is to unleash the lions and just have like 3 single custodians run about everywhere. Aquilons, bikes, and then a small guard detachment of infantry and 2 manticores. I hope this is like to hold objectives and just shoot things off of objectives, and this is just bully the midboard. I'm guessing how that works. Pretty simple. Simple things. Blood Angels by Hawk 119. So we've got... Oh, excuse me. Captain on Bike with Rights of War. Teeth of Terror. Oh, that's not his Warlord. Primaris Chaplain on Bike with Mantra of Strength, Canticle of Hate, Benedicted Fury. He's the Master of Sanctity. He doesn't have Wise Orator. What does he have? The Imperium Sword. So reroll charges and +1 strength, +1 attack. So he's going to be strength. Mantra of Strength. That's the... Is that +1 to wound, or is that... It must be the +1 to attack and strength, because why would you take the +1 to wound one as Blood Angels? So he's going to be strength 5, strength 8. At like 6 attacks, 7 attacks. Pretty funny. Pretty funny. I think White Scars do that better and easier though. And then Sanguinary Priest, because this guy's just incredible. He can be a Chief Apothecary and he can take Selfless Healer. It's just incredible. Assault Intercessors and Normal Intercessors. Judiciar, don't really agree with this, because everything else is so fast. Judiciar just gets left behind. And then he's got 3 squads of 5 Sanguinary, all with sword, and then 1 squad of Vanguard Vets with Claw and Shield. And Scepter squad, 5 of Eradicator squad, don't really get. And then 2 Landspeeder Storms just to be annoying and hold objectives, I guess. Yeah, that's right. I would just fucking sold these off and upgrade your intercessors to incursors or infiltrators if you want to hold objectives. Seems to be an easier way to go about it. But it's a Blood Angels list, so it'll probably do well. Haunted Bagel with Necrons. Okay. Yep, he's the OBSEC and 6-inch move, which everyone seems to be taking. Catcomb Command Barge. It's not the fighting one, it's just the buffing one. So it's just there to be a buff boat. Another Catcomb Command Barge with Void Blades this time. but no upgrades to make him have the super void blade. So he's just kind of a shit combat version. And then a Chronomancer with Veil of Darkness. Necron Warriors, 10, 20, 10, as everyone takes. Nightbringer, because everyone likes him now. Trout Stalker, Scarabs, Ghost Arc. I wonder if this list wouldn't be better dropping the Nightbringer and taking Silent King. I think that's probably the way to do it. Because, like, the Nightbringer's 350 points, that's not really doing anything for your army. He will die eventually, especially against some armies can one-round him. One turn him, and then basically the rest of your army is just, like, really weak. Doesn't really work together that well. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Hex with Tau. Farsight, obviously. Commander with Fusion Blasters. Enforcer suit, though. Is that the cheaper one? I think it is. Commander with 4 Flamers. Because I need a second HQ. 3 strike teams. 3 Riptides. All with... What's Plasma Rifle? I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. They've all got different things. So he's got the Super Ion Blaster in this one. Burst Cannon, and then the Smart Missiles here change for Plasma Rifles. I probably would have just kept Smart Missiles on all of them, because the Smart Missiles are really good at just taking people out of cover. And then Crisis with Fusion Blasters. I don't like that at all, because... And I don't like this at all. It's so expensive for something that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shots. Like, even with... even if you were hitting on 2s... Wounding on 2s... You're gonna... What? Oh, sorry, excuse me. Hit 9 times, or 8 times? 9 times, let's say. Hit 9 times, wound 8 times. And then... Anything you're shooting probably has an invuln save, or if it doesn't, then it's just gonna die. But if it's got an invuln save, you're gonna lose half of those. So only 4 wounds are gonna go through for 365 points. I don't like it. And I definitely don't like this. It seems like such a waste of points. Like 350 points for 2 burst cannons. Or, sorry, 12 burst cannons. It's like fucking garbage. And then like a smattering of drones, because they're expensive now. Because they actually have to pay points for having overpowered things. It's okay list. I don't think it'll do that well. Space Marines from Henry. He's playing Imperial Fists. What a mad lad. Well, it's a successor, which has inherited the Primarch. Why? Weird. Primaris Chapter Master, Hand of Dorm for the D3 command points. I have Hypnoth for reroll 1s to wound. Basically turns him into a lieutenant and captain combined with the Chapter Master add-on. Heavy Intercessors normal. Primaris Apothecary, Relic Contemptor, Venerable Dread, Suppressors, Thunderfire. And then he's got Black Templars add-on for Solemn Intercessors, Crusader Squad, Lieutenant, Chaplain Grimaldus, Company Veterans, Outriders, and Pulsar Rhino. It's a mess. It is a mess of a list, and it's just like the things I have in real life, which is alright. You can play the way whatever you want, but it's just not a competitive list. Space Wolves from Hippie Pancake. Got a Chaplain with Exhortation of Rage, Canticle of Hate. He is a Master of Sanctity. He is a Wise Orator. Wolflord and Thunderwolf Cav. He's a Chapter Master. He's got the Wolfstone. No, he's got the Wolfenstone. What am I thinking of? The Armor of Russ? Where's that? Where's your Armor of Russ? Oh god, he doesn't have it. He's got Blood Claws, he's got Grey Hunters, he's got more Grey Hunters. He's got a bunch of Sky Claws. What do they do? Are Sky Claws Assault Marines? Is that what they are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's got a wolf guard. So 8, so 9. Yeah, I think these are Assault Marines, aren't they? Weird. T-Wolf Cav, Eradicators, Vindicator, Let's Destroyer, Whirlwind, a Stormfang, a Drop Pod. Lads, I think we're officially into the territory of lists that people have in real life and are taking to this tournament, where they can have anything they want. It was an okay... I don't think it's actually okay. It's going to probably do quite badly. Holland Dude with his Dark Angels. Apothecary is slotless. Presumably he's got Command Squad. He's got a Talon Master. He's got Infiltrators. He's got Raven Wing Black Knights out the ass. He's got another patrol of Chaplain on Bike, Samuel, Infiltrators, Deathwing Knights, Landspear Vengeance. I like this. I love the Landspear Vengeance. The Plasma Cannon's crazy. Wait, he's got the Assault Cannon though. Does that mean he doesn't have the Plasma Cannon? Or is that just an add-on? Who knows? But I like it. Bike squads are garbage. Because they only have Meltaguns. Yeah, we're in the weeds now, mate. Holsey with White Scars. Oh god. Corsair Khan, Primus Chaplain on Bike, with all the things that make him an absolute beast. Yep, so he's got like 1,000,000 attacks with his Crozius. Is it a Relic Crozius? Yep. 1,000,000,000 attacks with his Relic Crozius at Strength 8, AP 3, Damage 5, Damage 6 in Assault Doctrine? Or Damage 5 in Assault Doctrine, one of them. I think it's 5, which is just crazy. Strength 8, AP 3, Damage 5 is an incredible stat line to have on a fast-moving model that can advance and charge, which is incredible. Insult Intercessors, Infiltrator, so he's got stuff to null deploy and deny deep strike and something to hold objectives, fine. Apothecary, which he's given the Plume of the Plains Runner to boost movement speed, selfless healer. 3 Blade Guard squads, all with 4 guys in each, which is a relatively okay number to put in. He's only got 1 Vanguard Vet squad, which is for White Scars I don't think enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it's got 10. And then 2 Inceptor squads with 5 in each, which is fine. And then a Whirlwind. I presume this Whirlwind is just for the no Overwatch stratagem. I think that's the only thing it could be for. But it's an okay. It's more than okay. It's a good list. It's a good list. A little bit of refining here or there. Horror with White Scars as well. Got Corsair Khan, got a Librarian with Null Zone, Ride the Wind, Stormwreath for the bonuses to charge and the no Overwatch, with a jump back, and Toma Malkador for the extra power. Primaris Chaplain on Bike with all the other things that everyone else has, except for he's gone for Master of Snares instead of he's gone for Master of Snares and Wise Orator instead of the Imperium Sword and Chigorian Storm. So he's going to have a lot less attacks and less damage, less strength. Then we have Assault Intercessors, Normal Intercessors, so nothing to null deploy and hold objectives. 2 squads of Blade Guard with 5 in each. Company Veterans to stop people sniping him. Primus Apothecary. 1 squad of Vanguard Vets, all with Claws and Shield. Attack Bikes. 2 Inceptor squads with 3 in each. And an Eradicator squad. I think if you're going to take Inceptors, just take a 6-man. And then if you want to combat squad them, you can. And if you need to kill 20 Necron Warriors in a turn, you can not combat squad them and do that just fine. And then I don't see why you would take Eradicators when you've got attack bikes. Just drop this, take an extra attack bike, so it's a squad of 3. And then with the leftover points, you can upgrade these guys to Infiltrators or Incursors or whatever. Drop these guys down to 3 or 4-man squads. Take another squad of Vanguard Vets. That's what I would do anyway. There's a lot of fat that can be cut here. Like points that you're not going to be using for a lot of the game. That can be put into something you will use for a lot of the game. It's a White Scars list, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I am Alex, I'm Ami. Blood Angels. Chaplain on Bike, Sanguinary Priest, Incursors, Incursors, Incursors. Who's got that good null deploy. Not null deploy, but forward deploy. Blade Guard Vets, Death Company, which is what I haven't seen actually anyone have yet. So like this with Forlorn Fury is so strong. GDCR, Sandguard, more Vanguard Vets, Outriders, Impulsors. This is a super strong list. I think this is a really, really good list. The only thing I would change is maybe change these Outriders into Inceptors, because you're already fast enough. You've got the Incursors. You don't really need forward pressure because you have the Death Company, and then you've got Sanguinary Guard and Vanguard Vets behind them. So you don't really need the pressure of Outriders, but you do need something to shoot and kill hordes, which is, or something that can threaten to kill a character in one go, which is a group of 5 Inceptors. But I think it'll do well. Air Ranger, Craft Worlds, Gunautric Skyrunner. We've got some Wraith Blades. We've got Shining... wait. Let's go back to the start. So, Hunters of Ancient Relics for the +1 attack on objectives. Wrath of the Dead for something. Who knows what that is. I swear to God, if every faction gets custom Craft Worlds traits, it's going to be incredibly hard to try and remember every single one. So Shining Spears, groups of 4, 2 Wraith Seers, a patrol of Expert Crafters and Masterful Shots, which is an 8th edition thing, but I'm presuming it'll not be that much different. Dire Avengers, Striking Scorpions, and then Dart Reavers and War Walkers. Yeah, this is kind of an 8th edition sort of focused list, but with this Shining Spear detachment. So it's kind of like half in the future, half in the past. I think expanding this part and reducing this part probably be better in the long term. Iron Tiger with Death Guard. We've got a Demon Prince Nurgle, a Planecaster, 3 groups of small Plague Marine squads, Biologist Purifier, 3 Hellbrutes, all with Contaminated Monstrosity for disgustingly resilient, all with Twin Lascannon and Missile Launcher. So this is like the sort of level of anti-tank, that long-range anti-tank that we haven't really seen yet in a list. Because it's interesting to see here. Noxus Blightbringer, 3 Fetid Bloat drones with Plague Spares, and then 3 Plague Bursts. It's kind of fun list. Personally, changing this into, what are they called? Blight Haulers. Or 2 of these. 2 of these turn into 3 Blight Haulers, right? Because they're 100 points each. So why wouldn't you just take 3 Blight Haulers? And then 1 of these for your fasty movie guys. That's what I do anyway. But it's a hardy list that's very hard to kill. Can you give Plague Burst... Do Plague Burst Crawlers already have Disgustingly Resilient? And if they do, that's fine. If they don't, why have you not given it to them? They've got the Accelerated Entropy to buff the Entropy Cannons, which is good. Yeah, it's going to be hard to kill this list, which is basically its plan. Just like be hard to kill and then blast them with the Plague Bursts and Hellbrutes. I like Hellbrutes with a 5-up, Disgustingly Resilient. That sounds fun. Another Blood Angels list. Librarian Terminator. Just with Might of Heroes, apparently. I don't know. This seems off. Curie, get on it. Tech Marine. Sanguinor. This is a weird mix of. I presume this is just because it's cheap, but the characters in Blood Angels are so strong. Why would you not take good ones? Incursors, Intercessors. That's a lot of bodies. 2 Furioso Treads, big block Sanguinary Guard, and 3 Impulsors. This is a weird list. This is like a guy who... Is this guy marketing for Games Workshop and he's bought 3 of the new Combat Patrol boxes? Or 4 of the new Combat Patrol? That seems to be what it is, isn't it? That's what that is. I'm on to you, JDD98. Jimmy, 1980. Any day now. While that's loading, we're going to see how far we've got. 20 lists in... Oh god, 39 minutes. I need to go faster. So Jimmy, He's playing Tyranids. He's got a Spore Assist. Because Alpha obviously ruled that you can place fortifications within 3 inches of terrain to make them usable. Spore Assist was, I think it was being looked at by Nick Nanavati for blocking off objectives and stuff, but then Games Workshop released that rule which says you can't have them within 3 inches of existing terrain, which kind of killed that idea. But since Alpha League's ruled otherwise, this is now a viable option again. Hive Cronus, Neurthroat, Rippers, Termagants, Hiveguard, Excrin, Kraken for Swarmlord, Malanthrope, Termagants, Lictor, Demecron. And another one. Yeah, I mean, it's all stuff we've seen before, right? Except for the Spore Assist, which is just there to block off an area. But it's all stuff because it can forward deploy as well, which is the dumbest thing in the world. That was Tyranids, so we're on to Joko with Orcs, which is a Speedwag, I believe. Yeah, so he's playing Death Skulls. He's got Deathkiller Wartrike, Warboss and Warbike, which this guy's just an absolute monster. The amount of attacks he has and the strength is just off the scale. It's like if the Primash Chaplain was on steroids. This guy would just be crazy. He's got small squad of boys, 2 squads of Gretchen, Meganobs. Gretchen can do Grot Shields for the Meganobs, but the Meganobs can sit on objectives all day long and you ain't gonna kill them. Custom Booster Blasters, Magajet Scrapjets, Shock Jump Dragsters. God, these names are so annoying. All have custom jobs. Corkscrew, no idea. I think it's the attack one makes it better. Drive Squad Rigging, no idea. Could be anything. Mega Dread. People still take all these things. And then he's got a Grot Mob with a Weird Boy Gretchen and a bunch of Smasher Guns to back up all the nonsense Speedwag stuff he has here. But that's what Speedwag Orc lists look like nowadays. Just a lot of nonsense. Harlequins, got Soaring Spite, Shadow Seer with all the stuff that annoys people, Troop Master that goes and kills people, and a secondary Troop Master. We've got the Fusion Boats. Let's see how many fusions we have this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 fusion boats with 4 fusions each equals 20 fusion pistols. So that Magnus example I gave earlier, 20 fusion pistols. And imagine putting all these 6 inches away from my entire Chaos Army, where they have to be to kill Magnus. That's basically why it's hard to kill Magnus, even with stuff that's dedicated to do it. He's got the other 10 squad of troops that are the Beatstick unit. He's got Death Jester with Humbling Cruelty, which is the relic gun that does mortals, ? Bunch of Skyweavers, because they are super good. They're really fast. And then a bunch of Starweavers, because they're too cheap, and they do dumb things. It's Harlequin's list. JX Call, playing Tau. What's with all the Tau players? Do they not realize they're really bad this edition? Shadowsun, Ethereal. Fine. He doesn't work though, right? Like, Shadowsun doesn't work in not a Tau Sept. Like, he can be in it, but his Kaiyun doesn't work, right? ? I don't know. Breachers, Strike Team, 2 Riptides, a bunch of Stealth Suits, a bunch of Hazard Suits, Tacticals, Tetras, a bunch of Broadsides with Heavy Rail Rifle. Yeah, he's given them Magna Rail Rifle as well. And then have we seen this list before? I'm sure this is the same as we saw before. I feel like I'm going in circles with Tau lists. Kamikaze Kid, I guess. Just gonna have a quick drink. So this is the OPSEC and 6-inch move traits. A couple of Crypto Thals for doing your actions. An Overlord, I guess he's a fighting one, but he's got the Relic Resurrection Orb. Royal Warden with Veil Darkness, Technomancer. I would probably prefer that to be a Chronomancer to give these Necron Warriors a 5-up, because if you're going to be wanting to use the Relic Orb on the Warriors, which I presume he is, then you really want them to have a 5-up in Von as well. The Nightbringer, Deathmarks, Doomstalkers, and then Ghost Ark. See, this is why I don't really like the Nightbringer, because he takes up so many points that this list just looks bare. It's not unreasonable to assume that someone can kill 20 warriors in one go, because everyone is playing around that right now. And after you kill these, what really is left in the army? It's not a lot. You don't really have any scarabs either. So, just needs to be more of a balance around your board presence, instead of just taking hyper strong kill units. Another Necron army. Novok, because he's a proper person. 2 squads of Cryptothiles. 3 Chronomancers. This guy's gone too far the other way. He's taking 3 Chronomancers. So if you... And then he's got 2 squads of 20 Necromorphs, 1 squad of 10. So if you think that if you're going to be using these Chronomancers to buff either the Necron Warriors or the Scarabs, essentially you can add 80 points onto these Necron Warrior squads, and just... that's their cost for how they work. So what you're saying is you're paying 340 points for Necron Warriors. That's basically how your game is being played, and it's too expensive. Scarabs, Ghost Ark, and then he has the Silent King. And this is a situation where I'd say there's not enough stuff to back up the Silent King to make him worthwhile. Like, I think you need some Praetorians or Lich Guard to act as like anti-charge. And I think that comes from cutting down on 1 squad of Necron Warriors to a 10-man here. Cutting 2 Chronomancers out. Maybe even taking some Scarabs out and adding some counter charge. But this is a lot more in line with what and you don't need this many Crypto Thralls either. He has to do this because he hasn't taken enough units here to do actions. Because you don't want these guys doing actions, and these guys will be doing these guys will probably be in a Ghost Ark doing deploy scramblers on turn 3 or 4 in the opponent's deployment zone. So that's why he has to spend this many points on Crypto Thralls. But it's better than the last one. And we got another Necrons player. Yep, that's the custom traits. He's got Catcomb Command Barge, Chronomancer, Technomancer, Warriors, Nightbringer, Wraiths, Doomstalker. Again, it's the same problem. Like, once you've killed the Nightbringer and like the Wraiths have done their like single charge that game and died, what happens then? You've got 30 warriors in groups of 3 and 3 Doomstalkers. That is basically a bad Doomsday arc. How's it gonna win the game after your initial stuff's dead? You're thinking about turn 1 and 2, and you're not thinking about the turns 4 and 5. And turn 4 and 5 is where a lot of players score most of their points. White Scars. Who is this again? Cthulhu. Corsarican, Primus Chaplain on bike. He is Master of Sanctity. He's Wise Orator. He's got the Vox Spiritum. So this guy more of a buff boat, I guess. Master Rider is really not a great warlord trait. Just gives you -1 to hit if you advance and reroll charges, I think, something like that. Not a great warlord trait if you're not making him into a... Actually, it's never a great warlord trait, to be honest. Blade Guard Vets, Company Vets, Apothecary, Redemptor, Vanguard Vets, Inceptors, Devastators, Drop Pod. This guy's playing 8th edition. This guy's playing Last Codex. This is unnecessary. Yeah. I wouldn't bother. In my mind, there's no point to taking Devastator squads anymore. You can just take attack bikes, and you go probably the same place. Especially White Scars, you can advance and shoot them with no penalty. You take attack bikes with multi-meltas, you basically go the same place where the drop pod would drop anyway. But then you also just don't die next turn because you're bikes and not marine bodies. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Space Wolves, we've got Kickers. Got a Primaris Lieutenant, Primaris Chaplain, Ragnar, because he's a... well, he's not that much of a blender anymore, actually, as he lost his stacking exploding force. Assault Intercessors and Cursors for deploying outside your objective. Blade Guard, 2 Invictors, Murderfang, Redemptor, T-Wolf Cav, Eliminator. I like this list. This like might look a bit unfocused, but like everything here serves a purpose, and everything here applies a good amount of pressure at different times. The Invictors take the heat off Thunderwolf Cav, and then the Thunderwolf Cav charge in, and you got the Redemptor shooting from midfield. You've got the Blade Guard sitting in the midfield. It's and then you've got the character blob that can turn into their own blenders, and you've got Eliminators threatening anyone with characters to not go in their sight range, because you can't just kill them. I like that list. It's a good Space Wolves, like a nice balanced Space Wolves list. King Bleo. The only thing with the last list, it didn't really have anything that would be doing any actions apart from like the troops, and sometimes the Space Wolves you need those troops to actually be fighting, because you can, if you lose your momentum, that's it, you're done. King Bleo of Hungary, we've got Imperium. Custodes, Sagittariums, Agmatis. And then we've got Mechanicus Outrider of Serbi's Raiders and Silverhounds, because why not? Lucius for the +1 invuln power, and they ignore AP1. That's the only thing I can think would be useful here. And then we've got Krieg for, oh my god, this is the horsey guy. Get this guy out of here. He has a lot of horses. They're all like T3, but they're 3 wounds, and they all have good invuln saves. So yeah, just incredibly annoying to kill. But not really nuanced or an interesting army to play or play against, I'm guessing. We've got White Scars, Corsair Khan, Lieutenant Reaver, so this is the same Reaver that we saw in yesterday's review. Primaris Chaplain on bike with Wrath of Heavens, which is the relic. Oh man, I think I played this guy. Yeah, I played this guy in a T2S5, I think. Yeah, I did, 100%. We played a White Scars mirror match with my army that's very, very similar to this. Except for I've got 2 Vanguard Vet squads and 2 Inceptor squads instead of the attack bites. And it came down to like some positioning errors on both of our parts. I narrowly pulled away a win. But this list is super, super powerful. In anything except a mirror match, it would have stomped the ground, I believe, because it's just incredibly strong. Like the multi attack bites as White Scars are so good, and everything's just so powerful, so hard to kill, and so strong, so hits so hard. So that guy is gonna do very well. How are we doing? Let's get to 100, and then we're gonna stop. So we got. Wait, what did we start at? 61. That's pretty good. If I get to 100, I'll be happy. Mechanicus from Commissar Azura. He's playing Styges. I like the Styges because fall back and shoot canticles, super, super useful. Daedalosus, Dominus. He's got the Exploding Sixes, Warlord trait. A bunch of Catform Breachers because they're durable. Starry Rangers and Starry Vanguards. The Arquebuses are like some of the most powerful sniper rifles in the game, and even just 2 of these can dissuade a chapter or like a captain from going out in the open. So I like having 4 of these as just a way to stop anyone from being out in the open. Unfortunately, they can't move, which is bad. But they do lock down massive areas and sightlines as well. They're 70 inches range, strength 7, AP2, D3 damage. which is really strong for a sniper rifle. Secondary hoplites, more hoplites. They're cheap, and they're like kind of durable in melee. They're cool models as well. I've got some that need painted up. They are really cool models. But I don't know how good they are in these small squads. They kind of just die like slightly tougher guardsmen. Sterilizers, raiders, 3 June crawlers. He is Stygies, right? Yeah. So 3 June crawlers with Icarus array and 1 with neutron laser, a Fuselav, 2 June riders, and then we've got another Stygies attachment of vanguards and a big block of Castellan robots. I actually think this army might be better as Lucius, and not having the exploding sixes warlord trait, but the fall back and shoot warlord and trait. Because with the Lucius, you can turn these Honor June crawlers into having a 4-up invulnerable, rerolling 1s. Super good for like a vehicle of T7, 12 wounds or whatever it is. The Icarus arrays are already strong enough; they don't really need exploding 6s. But the other side of the fallback and shoot warlord trait is extra AP within half range, which AdMech like this desperately need. You're turning your Icarus array into like AP from AP 0 and 1 to AP 1 and 2, which is a big jump. You're turning your June Rider Stubbers into AP 1. You're turning your Castellan robots into AP 3, which puts them at that sweet spot of killing Marine elites, like Strength 6, AP 3, 1, like 1 damage, whatever, but it's the volume of fire there, right? And then the Castellan robots in Conquer, Aegis Protocol are a 3-up invuln, 2-up armor save, with the Lucius trait, which is so funny to me. Like, no one's really used that to its potential, I don't think. We've got some Ghazghkull. Just gonna skim through this quickly. Yeah, so this is similar to a list that did well in the Australian team tournament down last couple of weeks ago. And it's basically just saturation of boys with Ghazghkull, Big Mech. The Big Mech is basically just a mini Ghazghkull. He's so strong. And then you have actual Ghazghkull, 90 boys, which is basically 120 boys with Green Tide. Meganobs to hold objectives and just not die, because you can set them in the midfield like Blade Guard veterans and they just will never die. Pain Boy to heal up Gaz with stratagem and give people 6-up Phenopain. Weird Boy with Warpath is kind of overkill. Where's your? He's only got 1 as well. So the specific psychic power for Goths that they got in Psychic Awakening is called Bull Charge or something like that, and it basically means that your charge is always a 7. No matter how far you are, no matter what minuses to charge you have, it's always a 7. And I think that's so much more useful than an extra attack with Warpath, because as Goths with Ghazghkull already, I think your 5 or 6 attacks on the boys, oh, they're not Scar Boys either. I would spend the CP to make all these guys Scar Boys, which is a +1 strength buff for all of them. So they'd be strength 5 instead of strength 4. You should have probably done that. And then the Warpath gives them an extra attack. They're already at 5 or 6 attacks. Putting them to 6 or 7 isn't going to make that much difference. You're not going to punch through an extra Custodian Guard because you're already throwing so many attacks at them that they'll probably die anyway. So I think the 7-inch charge is a lot more useful, because you can charge over forests, you can charge into Custodes with Tanglefoot Grenade, and you just don't care because you've got the 7-inch fixed charge. He's got to jump because everyone takes that because it's really good. And he's got Gretchen. He's got another Pain Boy, and he's got 2 Smasher Guns for the backline shooting. I actually don't think you need these at all. You just transfer this into more boys and you'd probably be just as well. And you probably Mecha or Ghazghkull. What am I thinking of where you could take... Well, I guess, yeah, you could just take another... Yeah, this patrol is fine with just Gretchen and Weird Boy. But yeah, I would just get rid of this and do more boys. That's my personal opinion, though. But I think that'll do well because people are not teching towards that many boys. I've got Necrons from Cunning Boss. He's playing Mefrit, which is interesting choice. But I don't think any of the Necron dynasties are particularly bad, to be honest. He's got an Overlord, Technomancer, 10, 10, 15, 15, Necron Warriors. He's got the Nightbringer, he's got Stalker, he's got 2 Doomsday Arcs, he's got 2 Ghost Arcs. Cool. Fine, we don't really need to linger on that much longer. Not to, like, diss the guy at all, but it's just, like, the same kind of Necron stuff we've seen and I've commented on before. Linnea with Sororitas. We've got Martyred Lady with Junith, Missionary, Sisters, Gemini, Hospitalier, Emergifier with Stoic. He's only got Tail of the Stoic, so only ignore AP1. A bunch of Retributors with Multi-Melas, like a big chunk of them. 3 Immolators, and then he's got Bloody Rose of the Repentia stuff that we've discussed before. He has only got 1 Rhino to go with that, so I presume 2 of these are going to go in Deep Strike, and he's just going to hope that he has the Miracle Dice to have them auto-make that charge, or they're going to Foot Slug. Lightning Warlord with Ultramarines, first Ultramarines, and considering everyone thinks they're so amazing, I'm surprised to see only 1 Ultramarine so far. Chief Libby Tigerius, Veil of Time, Null Zone, Second Fortress. I don't get taking both of these. They're so like anti against each other. I guess I can't think of any time I would want to use Null Zone, Second Fortress. I'm basically throwing away Tigerius at that point. Intercessors, so nothing to null deploy. Bunch of aggressors, all with Auto Bolt Storm. Ancient, Apothecary. Bunch of suppressors, bunch of eliminators. It's grand, isn't it? It's just a lot of bodies to try and chew through. A lot of suppressors T5, they're Gravis, right? I think they are. It's a lot of T5 bodies to chew through. Actually, no. Suppressors are Phobos? Question mark. That's an interesting question, actually. I don't know, but it's a lot of bodies to chew through. And it's Ultramarines, so you can't tag it. Surprised he didn't have Gilliman, actually, because Gilliman's so good, especially with Ultramarines right now. Yeah, I mean, Gilliman in there would be my take. We've got Lockjaw with Mechanicus. We've got Cull. He is going to be Mechanicus Lotum with a 9-inch aura. We've got Engines here with Divination to the Magos, which is the Exploding Sixes, right? I think it is. East Pure Mars. We've got 3 Vanguard squads to fill out the requirements. 2 squads of Corvuscari. All Cannon Ballistarius. Raiders, Disintegrators. They are all Pharamite. I don't. After looking at the WTC maps we're using, when I made a Mechanicus list to test out, the Pharamite just didn't work. There's so much line of sight ignoring, and even though it's a lot high damage in AP, which is good against Gravis and stuff, the Belros just outperformed it every time I played it. And then he's got Fuselav and 2 June Riders to carry the Corpuscari. I think one of these should probably be a Fulgurites, because he doesn't really have any counter charge. If he comes up against one of those Blood Angels lists, he just kind of gets touched and dies, because the Raiders can't really stop the Blood Angels unless you like position perfectly, but it's not likely, especially with only 12 of these. 12, 6, 7, 14 of those guys. They're not going to screen that much. Oh my god, only 2 left. Lunilian with White Scars. Captain Bike with Teeth of Terror. If you're going to take the Teeth of Terror on a Captain Bike, you may as well just upgrade him to have the Teeth of Terror, the Shigorian Storm, and the what's it called? Imperium Sword, because you're getting the most out of the Teeth of Terror at that point. Librarian Terminator with Raglan Storm Wreath. Yep, Plume the Planesrunner. I don't like Plume the Planesrunner. This guy's so slow. Having him tied to the Plume of the Planesrunner is a really bad idea. And then a Primaris Chaplet on Bike, who's been built as a buff boat. Then we got Incursors, Intercessors, Aggressors with Boltstorm, Bladeguard Ancient for some reason. He's a Chapter Ancient as well, and I presume he's got the specific Warlord trait for that. Bladeguard Vets, Company Vets, Invictor Tacticals, Primaris Apothecary, who is also Hero of the Chaptered. Oh, he's the Warlord. Okay, I get it. And then ATVs with Multi-Meltas and more Eradicators, because if you're going to overload Multi-Meltas, may as well do it in style, eh? Don't think this will do very well. There's nothing fast and deadly that really plays into White Scars' main thing. Like, where's the Vanguard Vets? Where's the Inceptors? Things that really benefit from White Scars is missing from here. So I don't think that's going to do that well. And then Lorin, we've got Black Templars, the last one today. He's got Captain on Bike. He's got Teeth of Terra. And he has the Master of Sanctity with Rites of War for the OBSEC. I actually haven't seen this too much today, have we? We saw it a couple of times yesterday, but this might be the second time we've seen it today. And a lot of the list yesterday had it in it. One squad of Incursors, a big blob of Terminators with Gun and Chain Fists. Vanguard Vets with Chainsaw Storm Shield, Thunderhammer, 2 Lightning Claws, Relic Blade Storm Shield. This just adds unneeded complexity to a squad that should be fairly simple. Just like put Lightning Claw Storm Shield or Power Fist Storm Shield on all of them, and it makes it so much easier. You know exactly what your damage output with that squad's going to be. Having this makes it so difficult to know exactly what your damage output of the squad is, and especially when you start losing guys and you say, okay, this guy's dead, okay, now this guy's dead. Your damage estimation of that squad just starts to vary wildly. He's got 3 single attack bites Multi-Melta. Don't do that, just put them in one squad. He's got Inceptors with 5 of them, 5 guys in it. He's got 2 Typhoons. Haven't seen them in a while. And then he's got a squad of Eradicators and a Whirlwind. If you're gonna take this, you don't need this. Like, I would say you never need this, but if you're gonna take 3 attack bites with Multi-Meltas, you don't need more Multi-Meltas or more Melta shots here that are slower and worse. Especially when you've got even more Multi-Meltas on Typhoons. Just an overload of Multi-Meltas. And you could have spent those points on making another Vanguard Vet squad or better Vanguard Vets or more Incursors to hold the objectives, because you don't really have anything once, like, I presume this Whirlwind's going to be on your home objective, and then this Incursor squad's going to be somewhere on an objective, and once those 2 are dead, there's nothing that really wants to sit on objectives and stay there. Everything wants to be doing something. And that's it. We're done. We've reached 100 out of 181. It's taken us 3 days. I've done 39 lists today. I feel pretty good about that, and that's where I'm going to stop. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow maybe for the next installment. Try and get up to 140, and then by Friday we should be finished. So catch you guys later.